If you thought Bethesda's official Oblivion remaster was gonna steal the spotlight from Skyblivion, think again. The fan-made full-scale remake of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion is still aiming for a 2025 release, and its latest dev diary is basically a love letter to every player who ever wished the original game had a little bit more bite and a lot more variety. The new update on this mod from the development team isn't just a round of shiny screenshots, it's a bold statement. Skyblivion isn't trying to compete with the remaster at all, it's going bigger, deeper, and in some ways wilder. We're talking rebuilt cities, cut content restored, dungeons with real personality, and even changes to the infamous Deadlands that might make you actually want to spend more time there. And all of this is happening in Skyrim's creation engine, complete with modern RPG touches that the original could only dream about. So let's break down all of the new information we now have on Skyblivion. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from games like the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield, Cyberpunk, The Witcher, and really any other RPG I'm interested in. And if you're interested, consider becoming a member on the channel for early access on every video, members only content, your name in the credits, the ability to write in and have your comments featured, and access to the Discord community. One of the biggest flexes in the new dev diary is the long lost city of Such. If you've played the vanilla version of Oblivion, you probably remember Fort Such, a lonely ruin in the west that felt more like a map filler than an actual point of interest in the game. That's because Bethesda originally planned Such as a full-blown walled city before cutting it late in the game's development, and now Skyblivion is bringing it back. And it's not just a backdrop either, but it's a fully explorable ruined settlement complete with castle remains, paved streets, and the kind of environmental storytelling that makes you actually wonder what went wrong there. At this point, bandits have moved in, which means it's not exactly a friendly tourist stop in the Skyblivion mod, but it's miles ahead of the lonely little fort we got back in 2006. And Such is just the start for them. The team has also turned its attention south to the city of Anvil, transforming it into a true coastal trading hub. The new version of the city that they've reimagined features an expanded harbor basin, extra docks, market stalls, and layout changes that make the city feel like it actually thrives on maritime commerce. It's a subtle thing, of course, but it adds a sense of purpose and identity that the original city's layout lacked. If there's one thing that many Oblivion players can agree on, it's that the Deadlands inside the Oblivion gates got repetitive fast. The orange and black lava hellscape was striking the first few times you went into the Oblivion gates, but after your 15th gate you've closed, you were probably just sprinting to the Sigil Stone as fast as possible. Skyblivion's answer here: split the Deadlands into two distinct biomes. The first biome is called the Burn, which keeps the familiar lakes of lava and jagged rock formations, and the second is the Sever, a storm-ridden acidic swamp inspired by the Elder Scrolls Online. This new biome that they're adding in Skyblivion swaps fire for poisonous puddles, dead trees, and oppressive clouds, a very different vibe that still feels dangerous but also breaks the visual monotony. They've also expanded the number of world layouts behind the Oblivion gates from 7 to 11 now, with plans to rework as many as possible before the mod actually releases. Throw in new enemy types from Spider Daedra and Crocodile-headed Deadroth to other returning creatures, and you've got a realm that finally feels unpredictable for the player. In vanilla Oblivion, most unique weapons were really just recolored versions of other existing gear with slightly tweaked stats, and now Skyblivion is throwing that approach out the window. Every unique weapon and piece of armor now has its own model, often with custom attack animations to give them distinct personality in combat. Take Umbra for example. In the Skyblivion mod, its hilt now has a gnarly cluster of skulls fused into the metal hilt, like trophies from the Blade's long and bloody history. Other items are also getting similarly bold redesigns, all while staying lore friendly. It's the kind of touch that makes finding these items feel exciting again, and not just like checking off a quest reward. They've also made sure that the gear in the game works seamlessly with Khajiit and Argonian character models, meaning tails, ears, and other features fit properly through the armor. That's of course one of those small quality of life improvements that speaks volume about the team's attention to detail. The Skyblivion team isn't just copying and pasting Oblivion's existing dungeon layouts into Skyrim's engine either. Every fort, cave, and ruin has been rethought with encounters and designs that make them feel more like mini adventures instead of filler. They've even teased an ambitious mega dungeon tied to the restored city of Such. It's the kind of location that rewards exploration, hides secrets in plain sight, and encourages multiple approaches to combat and navigation. Quest content in the game is also getting a similar polish here. The mod will feature all 223 quests from the original Oblivion game, but with tweaks to the dialogue, encounters, and pacing to make them feel less dated. They've also hinted at new quests and events sprinkled into the game world to surprise returning players. The Skyblivion team is very clear about what this project is. This is not a remaster, this is a full-on remake with systems built to match modern expectations. That means updated UI, better inventory management, more immersive NPC behavior, and subtle quality of life upgrades like improving lockpicking, underwater combat, and a refined spellcrafting system. They're even adding new music to blend with Jeremy Soul's original score for Oblivion, plus enhanced loading screens, lore-friendly class cards, and a new paper map for us to look at. It feels like a best of both worlds approach here. Keep the heart of the original Oblivion game from 2006, but present it in a way that feels more at home in 2025. Why release Skyblivion after the Oblivion remaster? This is the question that the team knew they had to address. Bethesda's official Oblivion remaster launched earlier this year in April, surprising many fans and sparking speculation that Skyblivion might become redundant. And obviously, the devs disagree, and their response is simple. The remaster is an update, but Skyblivion is a reimagining. Where the remaster keeps the original game mostly intact, Skyblivion rebuilds it completely from scratch, adds entirely new areas to the game, restores cut content, and modernizes the game's mechanics. They also stress that there's no bad blood between them and Bethesda. In fact, Bethesda has been openly supportive of the mod team, even gifting all of them free copies of the Oblivion remaster and inviting them to take community feedback into account. It's an increasingly rare but wholesome case of the studio and fan project coexisting peacefully together, and it's really cool to see these two projects stand next to each other while also trying to accomplish different end goals. After more than a decade in development, Skyblivion is officially in its final phase and getting closer and closer to the finish line. The team is also still looking for volunteer help in areas like scripting, quest design, 3D modeling, and level building, but they continue to remain confident in hitting their 2025 release goal. When it drops, it will be completely free to anyone who owns both Skyrim Special Edition and Oblivion Game of the Year Deluxe on PC. Installation will be handled by a custom installer as well, no Creation Club nonsense to deal with, and the mod will support GOG's new one-click modding system. If all goes as planned, this could be the definitive way to experience Oblivion for longtime fans. If you're new to the game, I personally would still recommend the original 2006 game or the remaster if you're on a decent PC and got mods to be able to fix it and make it a stable experience. But for longtime fans who have already put countless hours into Oblivion already, the Skyblivion mod could be the perfect opportunity to experience the beloved game in a whole new light. Here's the thing, Oblivion is obviously a beloved classic, but it's also very much a product of 2006. Its combat, environments, and quest pacing show their age at this point, and the remaster for the game from Bethesda smooths over some of that, but Skyblivion has the chance to make Oblivion feel new again without losing its soul. The attention to detail, the willingness to restore cut content, and the creativity behind changes to places like the Deadlands all point to a team that isn't just ticking boxes here. They're asking the same questions that all of us players ask when revisiting old games. What if this part was better? And then they're actually making it happen with this new mod. If the final product that they deliver to us lives up to what we've seen in the dev diaries to this point, Skyblivion won't just stand beside Oblivion Remaster, it could be the go-to version for years to come. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from games like the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield, Cyberpunk, Witcher, and pretty much any RPG I'm interested in. And if you're looking for something else to watch, click one of the videos you're seeing on screen right now. I will see you there. Also, a huge thank you to all the amazing channel members.